It's a pleasure to have your company tonight. Hope you had a restful weekend. I'm Olive Nete. Let us start by informing you that His Excellency President Paul Kagame announced that Rwanda intends to open diplomatic presence in Budapest in Hungary in regards of fostering and enhancing the cooperation between the two countries. Meanwhile, Hungary recently opened its consulate in Rwanda. We have details on the story. On Sunday, the Hungarian President, Her Excellency Katalin Novak, started a two-day official visit in Rwanda. In the afternoon, President Novak was received by his counterpart, His Excellency Paul Kagame, at Village Rugwiro. The President Katalin Novak is the first Hungarian president to visit Rwanda, and it is the first country that she visits on the African continent since she was elected as the president last year. She reiterates on why she chose to visit the country.
The reason why I chose Rwanda to be the first country to visit is because I wanted to see it myself, how much Rwanda has developed in the recent decade. And I can see it myself. I had the privilege and the chance to meet Rwandan people, to meet Rwandan communities, and to experience personally how far you got from where you started. And knowing your tragic history, it is even more to appreciate that's how much progress you made lately. And it's also thanks to your leadership and thanks to your commitment. So I want to just congratulate all the efforts that you and your team. I also would like to thank you for the invitation to the Women Deliver conference because that also reflects our common commitment towards empowering women. And I thank you for what you have done in that respect in Rwanda already until now.
The two heads of state had a tete-a-tete discussions and later on witnessed the signing of agreements in various sectors, including the education sector, which includes training Rwandans on the peaceful use of nuclear energy. In this regard, the head of state, President Paul Kagame, pointed out the importance of this sector and also announced that Rwanda is about to open a diplomatic presence in Budapest, the capital city of Hungary.
From my discussion with President Novak, it is clear that Rwanda and Hungary enjoy good bilateral relations. We are committed to making our ties even stronger. And at this point, I want to mention that Rwanda intends to open a diplomatic presence in Budapest and very soon. For our countries, job creation and fostering an enabling environment for business are key priorities. Through the new agreements signed today, we are committed to build on this shared vision and create mutually beneficial opportunities for the people of Rwanda and Hungary. We will also be working with Hungary to train Rwandans in the field of nuclear energy, an important component of our future energy plans.
During a press briefing, the two heads of state also reiterated on the work currently happening in Ukraine, a neighboring country to Hungary. President Katalin Novak points out the need to restore peace.
For us, peace is the most important. And being here in Rwanda, I can understand it even better why peace is so precious. We are, in some sense, spoiled in Europe for not having many armed conflicts or war conflicts since the Second World War. That wasn't the case in Rwanda. And people tend to forget how much suffer a war can cause and what it means to lose lives and what it means for mothers to lose their sons, for wives to lose their husbands. And that's what we see on a daily basis in Ukraine right now, the loss of lives. and the meaningless loss of lives. So what we stand for in Hungary is peace and a ceasefire as soon as possible, peace negotiations, peace talks, and then a sustainable, just, long-lasting peace in our neighborhood. And we don't want to have any war and conflicts in our country, so we want to safeguard peace in Hungary as well, which is for us so precious. So that is why we are so standing in speaking for peace.
President Paul Kagame also called on powerful countries around the world, and also the two countries in opposition, to choose peace for the benefits of people, but also looking at the fact that it affects economies of other countries in the world.
Inevitably, everyone will have something to give, and everyone will have something to gain or receive from that. But people need to look at the root cause of that problem, and whatever path to a solution needs to be addressing the root causes of what we have in Ukraine. There has been an invasion. That's wrong. And then somebody will come up and say, no, but there has been an invasion because of this reason. And then you have people thinking, yeah, but there is this reason, I think people need to think about it. And so on and so forth. So you have all these arguments. Somehow they need to be brought down to the table for people to digest them and keep finding which ways they can move that situation towards peace, and also all of us to stop being affected by what is happening there. I imagine Hungary being closer to the situation experiences very acute fallouts from that, whether it is political, economic, security.
The Hungarian President, Her Excellency Katalin Novak, also visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi. She laid wreaths and paid tribute to the victims of the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsi in 1994, buried in the memorial. In her message after paying a visit to different parts of the memorial, she appreciated Rwanda's choice of unity and reconciliation, and also emphasized that Hungary shares the commitment to peace and peaceful coexistence. Now moving ahead in matters related to the conference, Women Deliver Conference happening tomorrow. Women in Kigali to participate in this year's Women Deliver Conference have noted that other African countries should emulate Rwanda's gender equality policies so that the continent may one day free itself of poverty. Serge Nhore brings us the details.
Women in Rwanda like Aretha Rwagasore, who is the managing director of Inkomoko Rwanda, an advisory firm and impact investor that helps entrepreneurs, are happy about the fact that the country's policies on gender equality provide opportunities for all people to develop irrespective of their gender, and call on other African countries to do the same so that the continent's challenges can be more effectively addressed. Only 15% of leading financial institutions globally are led by women, yet in Rwanda the figure is double that, something that is commended by Soraya Hakuziyaremye, the deputy governor of Rwanda's central bank, who also notes that 2 of Rwanda's most successful commercial banks are led by women. As the country prepares for the start of the Women Deliver Conference, keynote speakers like Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the former president of Liberia, point out that women should be given leadership positions not out of pity but because they are able.
We have this position, but we just can't find a woman to fit it. That's why we had to go somewhere else and get a man. No, we want to be able to say, well, for every position you have, we have 2 or 3 women that are ready and who are willing on the basis of their knowledge, not asking for favors, but being ready to compete and compete equally on the basis of knowledge, on the basis of capacity, on the basis of courage, on the basis of creativity, to be able to earn that position. And we want to see a wave of women positioned, ready, capable, courageous to be able to compete and to take any position in any society at any level.
Officials at the Rwanda Development Board, like CEO Claire Kamanzi, point out that hosting major conferences like Women Deliver is very beneficial to the country's economy, having far-reaching positive outcomes that stretch into different sectors, helping to fight things like unemployment. The 2023 Women Deliver conference will see the participation of more than 5,000 delegates and last for 4 days starting on Monday.
Inspiring strides towards gender equality in Rwanda, setting a powerful example for Africa's progress and prosperity. Now moving ahead, the Secretary General of the RPF, Inkotanyi Party, has asked young Rwandans living abroad to play their part in the country's development efforts. He made the call while speaking to the 65 young men and women who are in the country as of the third Rwanda Youth Tour to be organized. Serge Honore continues.
The youth live in 15 different countries, and they told us that they are happy to be able to have come back to their motherland to see for themselves how other Rwandans are developing.
First of all, I would like to say that the discussion was amazing, and I think that a big concept that I understood from this conversation is that there's a lot of improvement that we can bring to this country. And right now, there's this saying that says you go to Canada to shop knowledge and come back here to use it. So my goal right now, I'm going to my second year of university in chemical engineering, and I think that that's a field that's not as advanced in this country, and I would love to come work here and bring everything that I learned from Canada.
Well, the big vision that I have now that I've seen how good the country is, I've heard that one of the things that it's not lacking, but one of the things that the government is working on to help the country become better is really make the youth of this country more responsible and maybe achieve a higher education, because I heard that education was a big part of how the country got to where they were. Even when we were talking to in the RPF headquarters, they talked about how a lot of the people in the military actually now for one of the requirements that they have to have is higher education in order to be able to think. It's not about just the physical part, but you have to be able to also have the knowledge to be able to bring a country, not only liberate a country, but also bring it to where it is right now. So I think one of the biggest things that I feel like I could take from this tour and I could take going back home and that I would want to come back is basically how free that I feel that when I'm here, and how I feel like there's other people that could benefit from seeing how good the country is.
The young men and women are now determined to play their part in Rwanda's development.
Uyu ni umunsi wa gatanu turi gusura igihugu cyacu twahereye mu nzira yose.
This is the 5th day of our visit to this our country, and we traveled the entire route that the RPF used when liberating Rwanda, and we were given explanations as to why it was necessary. They showed us how young people like us had a dream of making Rwanda a country for all, and they realized that dream. They showed us that for an achievement to be made, sacrifice, patriotism and unity are necessary. That will enable us as young people to continue the legacy of our predecessors.
The
Secretary General of the RPF Inkotanyi Party explained to the young people that when first formed in 1987, the RPF Inkotanyi Party sought to address the different challenges Rwandans at that time faced, including their forced exile. He told them that they are welcome to visit Rwanda at any time they want, and went on to invite those who wish to come and live in the country permanently and work alongside their countrymen and women for sustainable long-term development. This is the third Rwanda Youth Tour to be organized, and 43% of the group are in the country for the very first time.
Moving ahead to health matters, inadequate infrastructure and poor health sector policies are among the things that have been cited as hindrances in many African countries when it comes to fighting preventable maternal deaths. We have details on the story.
The observation was made during an international meeting focusing on maternal health during pregnancy, and it was noted that addressing such challenges can go a long way in helping to avoid preventable maternal deaths.
I think most of the challenges, it's a cross-sectoral kind of challenge, because we have the problem of policy. There is still a huge challenge with policy. Young people do not have autonomy over their bodies. Abortion is still criminalized. There are only rare medical conditions where abortion is allowed in the country. And so you get to realize that because of this, young people get to resort to crude methods of abortion, and that results to death.
There are so many challenges in our country because, first of all, in nature, the topography is very difficult to access the health facilities. The woman cannot with pregnancy in that faraway facilities. So for this, Ethiopia has a health extension program near to the health the community, and other are generally a limited resource country for infrastructures like health facilities, light, water, and so on. Necessary infrastructure for the community. That is limited in our country.
Rwanda has made impressive progress in reducing child and maternal deaths, though the country is yet to reach its goal in this endeavor. Here in Rwanda, maternal deaths during childbirth are now at 203 for every 100,000 successful births. In the year 2000, as many as 1,071 women died giving birth for every 100,000. You therefore understand that by 2015-2020 we had reduced those deaths by close to 80%. However, there is still much to do because we want to reduce that figure further, because by the end of the next fiscal year, we want those deaths to be reduced to not more than 126 for every 100,000 successful births. This meeting was organized just before the start of the Women Deliver conference on Monday so that the issue of preventable maternal deaths can be discussed during that gathering as well.
Thank you for staying with us. Have a blessed and fruitful week ahead.